Hi guys, it's Hannah and welcome back to the Dyslexic Reader. Today I'm going to be showing you my TBR for the magical readathon Orilium, which is happening in September. G's Book Roast is her channel name. Video is going to be linked underneath and she has all the information, and I highly recommend that you go and check it out because if you're anything like me, you will be super excited for this. So this readathon is based on G's own original world, and she has printed, well, I printed them out, but she has made for everyone to print out the most gorgeous booklet with all the different races. There's different there's history to the magic of the place. There's all different continents that the different races live on, and then there's sheets for all the different races, and you make your own character which you play every year. This is the first one, but there's going to be, I think from now on, 2 every year in April and August if I remember correctly. We get a traveler's guide with all our prompts, we get sheets to make our own characters, there is maps. Mine didn't print very well because my printer's running out of ink, but there's maps, there's everything. It's such a fully fleshed out readathon and I'm so looking forward to it. So for anyone that's interested, I want to quickly run through my character. I haven't filled this all out. My character's name is going to be Rubak. Guild and calling don't come in until next year. My certification will be novice when I finish this. This is how many years and steps of the readathon you have done. Background, I'm going to be wilding rather than urban. Provenance, Dark Meadow is where I'm going to live. I'm going to be a Naturian for my race. Conduit and legacy, haven't filled in yet. I am going to attempt to draw myself a picture of myself, but I'm not quite sure how that will go as someone with very little art skills. But the background of my character is Ruvak was found one morning alone in the overworld with a shattered leg. Healers attempted their best, however Ruvak was left with a lifelong limp. They were raised by an elder with no family on the outskirts of society. They developed an inquisitive and academic mind. They longed to fit in, but they can come across as superior and awkward. So that's kind of a little background I've written for my character, because as we get to each prompt and travel along our journey, there is going to be scenarios where you'll have to say what you think your character will do. So the readathon for September is called the Novice Path. This is the path that we have to take to get to the Orilium, which is the academy, which will be starting next year. So you go along, each part of the path has that has a name, has a prompt, so you have to read a book to go with that. I think you only have to do 2 challenges to pass, but there is going to be also, as the month progresses, G is going to tweet, put it in the Discord, and I think make a video at the end of the month as well so that everyone can access it. There's a challenge with multiple scenarios and you have to pick how your character will react, and we don't know until next year when we actually get to the academy how that's going to affect. I don't know if it's going to be your guild, your calling, your conduit, your legacy, all those things that we can't fill in yet, and the character sheet is going to be linked with it. So I am going to go through the different prompts and show you what books I am planning to read. So we also have, as well as the map, the Traveller's Key, and it has all the different challenges of the Novice Path with a prompt. There also are prompts that you have to do between now and April to create your character. So depending on what race you want to be, where you want to live, those kind of things, there's prompts, but they don't need to be done in September. They just need to be done in time for April for when you actually start going to the academy. So if we get our map back up, the first challenge is the entrance to the novel path, and the prompt for this is you have to read a book with a map, and I have picked Gullstruck Island by Frances Harding. This has several maps on the inside, and I have never heard of this book, although the author is apparently Costa award winning and has 7 or 8 books out. I was looking them up, but this sounds so up my alley. On Gullstruck Island, volcanoes quarrel, beetles sing danger, and fish see the future. One thing that unites the many different tribes who live there is the lost, people who have the ability to cast aside their bodies and send their senses abroad. Then the lost are murdered, each one of them leaving their body, never to return, all except one. As violence threatens to engulf the island, Arlu is now the last living lost, and she and her sister Hathins must run for their lives, But who will they claim first, the islanders or the island? So that just sounds super interesting to me. Got it from the library, has a nice map on the inside, so that is going to be what I read for my first prompt. The next challenge that we're going to come across is the ash thorn tree, and the challenge here is going to be one of willpower. So we have to read a book that tempts us from our TBR, and for this I have picked Ink by Alice Broadway. There's not much information in regards to the plot of this book, but I've heard people talking about it before, and it seems to be every time you have a life achievement, it's tattooed on you. So whether that's having a birthday, or a sibling is born, or you fall in love, or you do something bad, it's tattooed on your arm for everybody to see, and it's just like a dystopian society, and it sounds just really unique. And that's what I like a lot about books, even probably more than character development, writing style, is I really enjoy a really unique plot point. So that's what I'm going with for that one. I've had that for a while, and it's always floating at the top, it's just never picked, so I'm going to pick that one. The next challenge is going to be the Miss of Solitude, which solitude alone, so you have to read a standalone book, and I have picked The Essex Serpents by Sarah Perry. Again, have had this for a while and just have not really had a chance to get round to it. It's set in the late 1800s in London, and I believe it's just kind of like story of a life kind of story. I remember it being very popular when it came out, and I'll be interested to see, finally get round to it and actually see what it is about. The next challenge is going to be The Ruins of Skye, which might be supernatural because the prompt is to read a book featuring ghosts, haunted houses, or other supernatural elements, and I have not got a physical copy yet. I do have this on, I've put in a request from the library, I have it on hold, but I do have it on my Kindle if it doesn't come in time, and that is the next book in the Lockwood & Co series. I read the first one. I believe the second one is called The Whispering Skull or something along those lines, and I have put it on hold for the library, and I'm hoping by the time I get round to it the physical copy will be here that I can read, but if not, I have it on my Kindle. And this is about essentially like almost ghost hunters. I read the series last year. I read the first one like around October time when I was looking for a spooky read, and I really enjoyed it. It's about like there's teenagers can like see ghosts better than adults can, so it's like 3 teenagers and they run like a ghost society. So you ring them up and they're like, there's a ghost in my house, I need you to come and get it, and they like deal with ghosts, and it's a whole almost like alternative history of London. And I don't remember too much about it other than I really enjoyed it, so I thought I would get the second one to fulfill that prompt. After we finish at the Ruins of Skye, we move on to Obsidian Falls. I'm not sure what the trial is going to be for this one, but we do have to read a thriller or mystery book, and I am going to start on a series that I have meaning to read for absolute ages, and that is The Ashes of London by Andrew Taylor. 1666, as the city burn, hunts for killers begin. So the Great Fire of London happens, and it seems to be someone is using the fire basically as an to try and cover up the fact that they're murdering people. So this is the first one. I don't know really much more about it than that. It's well loved and it sounds right up my alley, and I do own the rest of the series up until what has been published. I believe there's like a fifth one on the way, but I own the first 4, and I've wanted to get rid of them, that sounds awful. Like, I wanted to get them off my TBR and have had them read for ages, so final excuse to get round to this one. Then if we head down the path, we get to the Tower of Rumination, and we have to read a book that we think we're going to give 5 stars to, and I have picked for this one The Sword and the Stone by T.H. White. This is just a children's classic, a story that I love. I like the Disney adaptation, but I love Arthurian legends. If you watched Santa for a while, I've read quite a lot of books on King Arthur and different legends and different interpretations, and it's something that I really enjoyed, but I have not read this version of the story yet. I've had it for ages, and I think I'm really going to like it when I actually sit down and read it. And then Our last stop on the Novice Path is the Orilium Arch, which is going to be the portal basically that takes us to the Academy. On the end of our journey on the Novice Path, we're going to get to the Academy and be ready to start on the next readathon in April. And the prompt for that is to read a book which is set in a school. And I have picked First Prize for the Worst Witch. I've read all the Worst Witch books before, that's almost a tongue twister, but Jill Murphy died recently and it kind of put in a spark for me to want to reread the series that I really enjoyed as a child. So I went to the library and they had a couple of them kicking about, and this is just the one that I picked. I've read them all before. I believe there's 7 or 8. Worst Witch, I can't even remember where this one falls. I think it's later in the series, but I know all the characters. I'll be able just to dip in and I'll probably remember most of the story as well. Just because Jill Murphy was in my head, and I thought that I needed, some of these books are quite lengthy because the Lockwood's lengthy as well, to get through in a month. Something that was shorter and easier, and if I wasn't feeling up to reading much, would be good to dip in. So that is it. That is our TBR for September and our magical readathon. If you guys are participating, let me know down below. I would love to know what you're reading and if you're active in the Discord or the Twitter or anything else. I hope everybody is staying safe and that you're all happy and healthy. And I am planning to vlog the month. I don't know whether I'm going to do it weekly or just week 1 and 2 and then 3 and 4 together. But if that's something that you're interested in, make sure that you're subscribed and follow along to see. TikTok is maybe also a good place to find me, just the Dyslexic Reader on TikTok, and I'll probably be posting updates about how the books are going, and I hopefully will see you all in my next video. Bye!